WBCs are leukocytes, which are the part of our immune system. They fight against the infections and defend the body against them. So, there are many types of WBCs. Some are the part of our innate immune system, and some are the part of our humoral or learned immune system. It means part of innate immune system that from the time of birth they are present and they know that how to fight against the infection. And some are the part of humoral or learned immune system. It means that they will be produced and they will show their action when any germ or foreign invader invade the body. So types, these are the types: neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils, lymphocytes, and monocytes. These are the types of WBCs. If we talk about the neutrophils, so neutrophils make up about 50% of the WBCs. They are the first cells among WBCs to respond to the foreign invaders. So as they are the first cells to respond, they also send out the signal and alert other cells to come to the infection site or to come to the site of the scene. So about their lifespan is 8 hours, and our body make up about 100 billions of the neutrophils per day. Mostly neutrophils are the main cells found in the pus. Next are eosinophils. So eosinophils are also important in playing their role against fighting the infections or bacteria. So most commonly eosinophils are involved where the parasitic infections are. And they are also best known for triggering the allergic symptoms, and they make up about 5% of the WBCs. There is the high concentration of eosinophils in digestive tract. Next are basophils. So basophils, when they are stimulated, they release histamines, and this release of histamine can result in the inflammation and narrowing of airways. So that's why their best known role is in asthma. So among WBCs, basophils are only of 1% approximately. Next are lymphocytes. So lymphocytes, they provide non-specific immunity. Unlike other WBCs, lymphocytes provide non-specific immunity. It means that they are involved in the learned or humoral immune system. So B cells, they produce antibodies and remember an infection, and they stand ready for next time. T cells, B cells, they produce antibodies and remember an infection, while the T cells, they recognize and kill foreign invaders. There are also memory T cells. So memory T cells also plays the same roles as of B cells. They also remember the infectious particles, and they also stand against them for the next time. So we must also notice here that B cells are the main key role players in the effectiveness of many vaccines currently used. But in some vaccines, like the vaccine of tuberculosis and pertussis, T lymphocytes are the main players. So at the last, we have monocytes. So now the infectious particles or the foreign invaders are killed, so now we have to clean up them. So monocytes are the garbage trucks. So they clean up the dead cells in the body, and they make up about 5 to 12% of the white blood cells. So we have discussed about the white blood cells and their types and the functions of each type. Now we will see the production of WBCs, how WBCs are produced. WBCs are mainly produced in the bone marrow by a process called hematopoisis. So all the bone cells, all the blood cells are derived, or they descend from a single hematopoietic stem cell, also called pluripotent stem cell. So this pluripotent stem cell or the hematopoietic stem cell will first separate either into the lymphoid stem cell or into the myeloid stem cell. So from the lymphoid stem cell will give rise to the lymphoid cell line, which will further divide into, and that is a family of cells which will produce B and T lymphocytes. And next is myeloid stem cell, which will give rise to the myeloblast, and from the myeloblast monocytes, macrophages, eosinophils and basophils will arise. So also note that myeloblasts can also give rise, or they will also divide into the RBCs or platelets. So if we talk about the normal lab values of the white blood cells, so they will range from 4,000 to 10,000 cells per microliter of the blood. Now let's talk about the concentration or the number of the white blood cells, when the white blood cells will be elevated and when they will be lowered. So mostly the white blood cells concentration or count will be elevated in infections, but there can also be other reasons of that. Overproduction of the white blood cells, early release of white blood cells from the bone marrow, stress of any form, cancers, inflammation, trauma, asthma, and allergies or exercise. These may be the conditions when the are the causes of the elevated count of white blood cells. Blasts. Immature white blood cells are known as blast. So in severe condition, when the body is in the quick need of the release of white blood cells, so immature white blood cell blast will also be released from the bone marrow. So now when white blood cell count is low, following are the conditions where the white blood cell count will be lowered: in severe infections, bone marrow damage, autoimmune diseases like lupus, in splenic sequestration, bone marrow cancers or bone marrow takeover by the blood cancers or metastatic cancer, or any drug or chemical related damage to the bone marrow. What is splenic sequestration? In this condition, there is accumulation of white blood cells in the spleen. So now let's see the symptoms of the low white blood count. So as such, there are no symptoms of the low white blood count sound. But as we know that low WBC count will lead to the infection, so there are some symptoms of the infections. So these symptoms are cough, fever, painful or frequent urination, blood in the stools, diarrhea, or redness, swelling, or warmth at the infection site. So WBCs and chemotherapy means that how chemotherapy and WBCs are related, or what are the side effects of chemotherapy on WBCs. So the most important and most dangerous side effect of the chemotherapy is that it will decrease the neutrophils, and as neutrophils are the first respondents to the infection or to the foreign invaders in the body, so in that way in chemotherapy the body will not be able to resist the foreign invaders. So decrease of neutrophils uh, is called by the chemotherapy is called chemotherapy induced neutropenia. Thank you so much.